Hey there, Justin, and I'm reviewing Watchmen. Back in '89, Terry Gilliam was supposed to be the original director, and after a while he just threw up his hands and said the film is unfilmable. Well, apparently it isn't, because I saw 2.5 hours of a fantastic adaptation of Alan Moore and Dave Gibbons', of course, award-winning, brilliant novel, Watchmen. And that was done by Zack Snyder, of course, who did 300 and the Dawn of the... I think it's Dawn of the Dead remake. And you know what? I really respect this guy. I think he's done some fantastic work, and I think he's showing a lot of promise as a really smart director. The film also wisely avoids any big-name stars. I think the biggest star in the movie is Billy Crudup. I mean, maybe Matt Fuhr and God, I can't remember her name from Sin City as the original Silk Spectre. That's your star power. And the film generally stars Jackie Earle Haley as Rorschach, Malin Ackerman's Silk Spectre, Jeffrey Dean Morgan as the comedian, Patrick Wilson, Night Owl, Matthew Good as Ozymandias, and Billy Crudup, of course, is Dr. Manhattan, with Zack Snyder directing the film. And that was... I've really never seen these actors before. They've always had kind of character roles over the last few years, and I think they're really quite good in these roles. First off, let me just start with the opening of the film. The opening of the film is a terrific opening credits montage, kind of setting up the world that the Watchmen lives in, and even looking at moments in history a little differently, because the Watchmen characters are there, including the end of World War II, the peace movement, the Kennedy assassination. It's really well done, and it, I think, opens up the film from being a typical comic book movie, which any comic book movie really needs to try that, instead of just, you know, going through the paces and just ripping off the past few films. And a lot of '90s comic book films did that, where it just feels like, you know, it's the '89 Batman blueprint done over and over again. And this film really does, just really goes for it and isn't afraid to take some chances. Anyway, as I mentioned, the cast, these people are terrific. I think, of course, Jackie Earle Haley is magnificent as Rorschach. And credit to you, sir, for wearing the mask all the way through. Unlike the Spider-Man movies, where Peter Parker somehow has to take his mask off every 2 minutes in the movie, just so we're reminded that it's, you know, kind of what's your face, you know, God, what's that guy's name? Peter Parker. No, not I know Peter Parker. It's the actor. Hold on. Tobey Maguire. Oh, sorry, Toby. I love your work, but you know what? It doesn't matter. You're Spider-Man. Just wear the fucking mask. And thankfully, maybe it's because they aren't huge stars, so, you know, Tom Cruise isn't going, well, I'm not going to wear the mask through 80% of the film. Fuck that. I'm Tom Cruise. You know, you might forget it's me somehow during the movie. No, they all do a magnificent job. He is magnificent. As well as Patrick Wilson, who plays Night Owl. Actually, he does something interesting. This is what you do with good acting. I actually like Night Owl more in the film than I did in the original book. I just find him really compelling and likable, and you just get right behind him as far as just feeling for him. It's just a really terrific performance, and that goes all the way around. Let's see, Ackerman as Spectre, I think, is easily the strongest female character I've seen in a superhero film, especially compared to the other female heroes like Storm and Invisible Woman, who is a nagging Hanna-Barbera wife in the two films, as well as Ozymandias, who has a great cold delivery in all of his scenes. I'm just really kind of taken. All these actors just did a magnificent job. Also, let's see, what's his name? Jeffrey Dean Morgan as the comedian. He really takes to heart this. I mean, this beast of a character, and really brings him to life. And there's this one scene where I have no idea how big this actor is, but God, the scene where he faces the protesters, he looks fucking gigantic. I admit that's probably just the way they shot it. And Billy Crudup is just considering what he had to go through, as far as I don't know if you call it CGI makeup or something like that, or just the CGI he had to wear and stuff like that. He just sells that part. I just think it's just terrific performances all the way across. Now, as far as direction, I am just quite impressed that Snyder went to the lengths of making sure the colors matched up a lot with the original book, as well as the sharp focus on the scenes, because there was a lot of tight kind of paneling done in the original book, and he kind of does that throughout most of the story. Also, the pacing is really well done. I mean, this is originally, I think, a 3-hour plus cut that he was able to get down to 240. And you know what? I don't feel like anything was really missing. I think he did a magnificent job of keeping all the important story elements in there. You know how people complain about the Harry Potter movies as the more recent books are getting bigger and they're cutting more and more. And that really didn't feel like that happened here. I think there are a few things here and there missing, but you know what? The story's fine without them. And let me just get to... before I wanted to finish up. And also he does something interesting. He also elaborates on some really good things, like the fight scenes, for instance. In the original book, the fight scenes are a little short, and Snyder remembers, this is a motion picture. So he doesn't add any gratuitous fight scenes. He just expands the fight scenes that are already there, which makes the whole experience much more enjoyable. Let's see, let me just get to the ending. How much time we got? 2.5. 2.5? Alright, we're going to do this as a two-parter, and after, there's no break, but in the next part I'll be getting more to the ending and a sum up of the film.